Hello everyone, Equipment Warrior, and welcome to a rough go through on the new passive skill tree. I'm going to have a link in the description how you can find this site, and this is actually the first time I see this new skill tree, so I not have the time to look at it before, so this is the first time. I just find it today, so I not have a time to watch it before, so this is new even for me. I just want to give you all a little bit rough through what I think about it. I have looked at it a little bit before I did this video, and I like most of the changes they have did. They are very nice, and I'm going to have so much fun building a build with this. Probably going to fail with some builds, but you need to try out different builds to find some good. And they have not changed anything on my current builds. I think I can build my current builds actually a little bit stronger than it was before. But no, I'm don't gonna talk about that right now, so I'm gonna go right through it. Before we start, I have been, I am actually sick right now, so that's the reason my voice is like it is. So I apologize for that. Anyway, this is a new note here, Retribution. Increases a good amount of spell damage, even give you melee damage. Give you cost and attack speed and strength and dexterity. So this node can be used both for melees and casters. That's a very good thing. I really like that. It's a node I definitely going to take if I doing a Templar, which I going to do actually. Then we have Century, I think it's called. And this one is far the most defensive one in a long time, if you ask me. It gives you a good amount of armor and a good amount of energy shield. It gives you life regen, give you strength and intelligence, which are very good things. Then we have the same as before, Elementalist, but as you can see, before you were forced to go a long path here, and there are some good notes here, but it's too much point if you're gonna get to some of the good ones here. So I really like the split up in these smaller clusters here, when you can have more fun if you want to get some life, or you're gonna go for any shield. And now we have Amplify, much easier to get if you are a witch. You can just go right down here and get this note for free if you want, if you're gonna go this way here. But here we have the best notes of all. Then we have some really good notes here. I reckon if you wanna be tanky, take all notes in this one here. They're all very good, if you ask me. But here we have the really interesting stuff. If we wanna do an elemental, an attack-based elemental character, here you have one of the best classes in the game, if you ask me. But I can have wrong, so don't take everything I say so seriously. You have Celestial Judgment, and you have Celestial Punishment. Celestial Judgment, I hope I pronounced that right. Increase elemental damage by 20%, nice. Damage penetrate 2% of both fire, cold and lightning, which are very good. And all the notes here are increased damage of cold, lightning and fire. And in here you have pure element damage, so get all notes in here, and that will be a good amount of damage. Celestial Punishment increases the chance to freeze, shock and ignite, and increase damage against frozen, shocked or ignited enemies by 30%. That's not bad, that's really good. So if you want to build a character which either perma freezes or ignites enemies, or do everything at once, shocking them, to go for that note, and you will do a hell of damage to those enemies. Then we even have a Cataclysm, and it's better than before, because before it was only 24%, now it actually gives you 24%, and extra strength and intelligence, so that's better than before. And this one is a really interesting one. Rightness Decree, I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna try again, because it will just sound ridiculous. They give you 22% maximum mana. That is amazing, that's so much. And it even reduces the mana cost of skills, which are nice. So that's a very good mana note right there. I almost forgot. When you start as a Templar, you get if you take the life path, you actually get life and mana at the same time. Life and mana regen, armor and energy shield. So these are very good notes if you want to have some extra either mana regen or energy shield, or maybe both. And then when you take them, you get 2 sentries. So if you want to do something with both mana and life and even energy shield, go for a Templar. I think the Templar is the best class to get if you want to do a hybrid character, which I have think about many times to do, but never been able to do it. And they also changed, when there are elemental nodes right now, they seems to have fire, lightning and cold symbols, so that's easier to find them now, if you ask me. Or I guess maybe I forgot that it was there before. And whoops, I actually think I did something there I shouldn't did so. But anyway, I think I just... Alright, I'll be back. I accidentally pressed something I shouldn't did. I can't see the notes anymore. Wait a second. Alright, I'm back again. I need to be careful. If I press down there and do something like that, I think the program will crash and I can't. It can't show anymore what I'm trying to show here, you guys. But a new note I noticed here was Stormweaver, and this one gives you a massive amount of cold and lightning damage and give you mana regen. 25% is not bad at all. So I really like that. And now this one here, actually, was I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry. It's actually more closer to the witch now than it was before. Before it was down here, I think it was. I'm not really sure actually when I think about it, so I need to maybe take a look at that later. But it's definitely closer to the witch now, which are good. And now we have Purity of Flesh, it's pretty much the same place as before. But we have this one here, with Avatar Fire. Now, we're near that skill are now Arcane Potency, which increase critical strike chance for spell and increase critical multiplier for spell. So that's more easy for the witch to get now. Before it was down here. Oh, I'm really sick. I don't feel good. So now we're gonna take a new cluster here. It's cluster for staffs. So melee staffs will be even more. Now have our own cluster that you can go through. And you have with ring barrier, I think it's called, and smashing strikes. Smashing strike is the damage for it. It can increase your critical strike chance with staffs, and gain an endurance charge. 10% chance to gain endurance charges on a critical strike. And increases physical damage with staffs, which are very good. And this one is the defensive one. Give you a 6% extra chance to block with staffs, and 10% chance to gain a power counter charge when you block. It's not a big chance, but it is a chance, and it's free, why not? So a pretty good cluster here, and you have some extra damage nodes and block nodes. It's a nice cluster here. And this one I really like. You take 20% reduced extra damage from critical strike and increase armor. Before this one was down in the Marauder area. Now it's up here, and I really like this note, but it is a little bit longer when I used to take it, so it will be a little bit harder for me to get it. So again. So that's a good note there. If you get crits are not fun, I can guarantee that. Then we have these notes here. Increase maximum mana and reduce mana cost of skill. Good notes if you have a very mana hungry skill. Go for these ones. Then we have dismembering. It's here now. I don't remember what it was before, but it was a little bit down there. And now we have Resolute Technique here. As you can see, we start to get to the Marauder area. And before, Resolute Technique was down here. Or actually, it was down here, I think it was. Definitely a note I want to go through when I remaking my dual-wielding duelist. I'm going to take this note. And I take advantage of the new skills and passives on the Marauder area because they are pretty interesting. And then we have By the Blade is up here now. Before it was down here. It was down here. But I go to that later. Here, if everyone gonna do a Rightness Fire character, look at this. Increase fire damage, increase life regen per second. That's a very good note if you wanna do some Rightness Fire character, which I think I'm actually gonna do. I'm actually gonna try it. And as you can see, they have completely changed the looking on the Marauder area. Before you have this big, this one was, it was on the same place, but you need to travel a long way to get there. Born to Fight is still in the same place. These are pretty much the same. These notes here, these melee damage notes, which are very good actually. If you want to do a melee character. And now we have Heart of the Warrior, it's here, and we have Versatility, it's here, which actually give you more than just increased accuracy. Before it was either accuracy or it was a shield notes here. Now there are life notes here instead, and they have moved the shield notes. I don't really know where it have been moved, but they are here somewhere. Warrior's Blood have been a little bit nerfed in some. You can say they have been nerfed at the same time as they have buffed it, because it will give you 1.5% life regen. It only give you 1% life regen now, but it give you increased maximum life, and it did that before, and it give you 20% increased strength, and it didn't do that before. As you can see now, this is by far my most favorite places now in to have changes. Before you need to get for all of these long life notes here or armor notes here. If you want the diamond skin, which now have been buffed, so now give 15% extra element resistance, which are amazing. So now you can just get this one and go for some resistance, go for some armor or some even more armor. Yeah, actually this is a no new note that I didn't have before. 3% extra chance to block when shield. 10% increased melee damage when holding a shield. Increased defense from the equipped shield. That's a very good note there. And armor mastery, increased movement speed, extra to strength, and extra armor. Not as much armor as before. I think it was 30% before. Now it's only 24, but they have made that skill even a little bit better if you ask me. And we have Judgment here, increase my life regen for flask, increase armor, increase life. Good note. Now as you can see here, now you can take a path of a weapon if you want. Either a mace with skull crushing or bone breaker, an axe with cleaving, which actually, look at that in damage. 35 increased physical damage with axes. That's insanely much. So dual wielding axes, good idea. Why not? And you have Slaughter, which give very good increased damage on axes, and a 10% chance to gain onslaught on kill for 2 seconds. Only 10%, but if you're killing things fast, that 10% will add up, I think. It's not a huge thing, but it's a good note. Then we have swords, we have Razor Edge, increase physical damage with swords, and increase accuracy rating, so that's a good amount of accuracy actually. And we have Blade Master, it's an old good note. Increase attack speed with swords, increase physical damage with swords, and increase accuracy. If you're gonna do a sword character, or actually make a sword and an axe one, you will do quite a bit of damage if you take all these notes here, and you probably don't need to take any more notes in this. And actually, when you're taking these notes here, like this axe ones, you can actually go for a critical one and don't take Resolute Technique, because you will be hitting a lot with all this accuracy, 20% accuracy there, 25 accuracy there, and 12% accuracy there. That's a lot of accuracy. So you probably not even need to take... oh no, I did that again. If I go... Now I know what's happened. If I go down here, the program will crash. So remember that if you're building a character, don't go down there. I need to restart again. Be back. And now we have an unwavering stance. It was, if I remember correctly, somewhere down here, I think. I think it was here. So move a little bit up here, a little bit closer to the Marauder. I want to say it's a middle between the Marauder and the Duelist. The Duelist and the Marauder is there. The Marauder will have a little bit closer to get to this node here, and now when we stand, you probably all know what that does. You can't get stunned, but you cannot invade enemy attacks. It's a good node. Just taking a fast look here. It's pretty much the same. Fending, 12% chance to knock back enemies back on hit and increase knockback distance. So we knock back enemies more. That's really interesting if you're playing a crit build with bows, actually. That would be a good note, I think. Now we go into my favorite character, and by the way, Iron Grip is pretty much in the same place. Well, here we have reached the Duelist, and his trio, I don't want to say it's completely different, because it's still pretty much the same, I want to say. I like it as it is right now here. I like this. Melee physical attack damage, not melee physical attack damage, just physical attack damage, which is a good thing. And yeah, it's pretty much the same. You go down here for the melee damage, but before it was life here. It was life on this place here. And it was dual wielding damage on the other side of this one and attacks with another one. Now it was dual wielding damage and it was projectile damage, also bow damage. You still have art of... this is a new note actually, don't listen to me yes yet. The art of the gladiator, increase attack speed, increase accuracy, ignore all the movement penalties from armor. That's a very good note right there. That's something I'm very happy to took right there. That's a very good note. And we have Master of the Arena, which are pretty much the same as before. I like it. There we have the Executor. This note here have been buffed, I want to say. Increase more damage with the two-handed weapon, increase accuracy, reddening with the two-handed hand melee weapons. Good note there. Then we have the armor. Actually, if you look at this shield note here, increase 3% additional chance to block with shields. Nah, that's all good. 18% increase melee physical damage at the same time. That's very good. That's a armor note and a damage note at the same time, which is always fun. So I'm gonna take this on some of my duelists, especially then who using shields. So I'm going to definitely take that. Increase melee physical damage when holding a shield. Actually, increase melee physical damage. This will work excellently with Facebreaker build. So if you're playing Facebreaker, take these notes here. You're always using a shield when you're playing Facebreaker, at least you should do it. So take all these notes here and it will increase your damage. And then we have a Diversive, I think it's called. It don't anymore give you 10% additional chance to block when dual wielding, which are pretty sad, if I won't say it. But increase a good amount of damage when dual wielding, increase your dual attack speed as well, so it's a good note. And you have some other really good dual wielding notes here, as you can see. Dual wield accuracy. I'm maybe actually gonna do my dual wield duelist to actually starting to crit with him a little bit. Not go for a crit build, but I can use accuracy. I'm not really knowing that right now, so I'm going to skip that later. Cloak and Chain. They have renamed this node. Before it was Leather and Steel, which I think they have some other way in the skill tree. Increase evasion rating and armor by 24%, which are very good. And here's a really good thing. Before this one, it had the effect ignores all movement penalty for armor and equipment. This one now have a 12% increase and 12% to all elemental resistance. I much more like that before. Now I can just take Art of the Gladiator and ignore all penalties from armor. And now I can take this one to increase my resistance and get some more armor. I like that even, that's much better. I like that. And by the way, I need to take this note here. Bravery note, very good note here. Give you a good amount of life and armor and evasion rating. So that's a very good note and I highly recommending that. And we have mana flows, same as before. A very good mana flows is a very good, very good mana note. One of the best in the entire skill tree, I want to say that. A huge amount of extra mana, a very good amount of mana regen, and a good amount of intelligence. It's a good note if you want to do a mana based melee build. As a duelist or some of the ones which are close to him. We have Golem's Blood here, same as before, life regen and all that. Nothing really special with it, it's just a good note, I want to say that. Look at this note here, I actually didn't see this note before either. Rendering strikes, look at that axe damage. Axes have been get a pretty good buff. If you consider the axe damage up here in the Marauder, and then you take the damage down here, it would be a lot of damage. So if you're gonna do a Marauder or Duelist, so using axe or dual wielding an axe or a sword, you're going to have access to pretty good damage notes right now, I want to say. And that shoots me actually really good. And this note here, which are increased with damage with swords, when I'm going to do my duelist with sword, with using both a sword and axe, I'm going to take both this one, and I'm going to go up to Marauder area and take these ones and these ones and these ones. I'm going to love that. Oh. I'm sick. Yes. I hope you guys can hear what I'm saying. Here we have two-hand melee damage, which are Executioner or Wrecking Belt. Both good notes. I like Executioner. It's really good because when the enemies are on low life, they take even more damage. That's interesting. And increase stun direction on enemies with two-handed weapon and increase damage. Look at that in attack speed increase with two-handed weapon. Two-handed weapon are pretty slow, and with this one you will be a little bit faster. Here we have a whole area with shield nodes. As everyone know, the duelist like his shield. We have Retaliation, I think it's called. Increase attack speed when holding a shield, which are very interesting. Increase melee damage when holding a shield, so holding a shield and do good amount of damage have been... Oh man, it's getting worse. I'm sorry. By the way, this one gives you 3% extra chance to block when a shield. And this one increases your defensive on a shield. It's a very good cluster here, and I can't wait for this skill tree to come out. And I'm gonna take the last one here before I need to go to bed soon. I'm feeling pretty terrible right now. So the last one is the dual wielding notes here, as I have found. There are probably some more changes. I just go over a rough go through. And blade barrier increase chance to block when dual wielding, which are nice. Increase block recovery, which are nice, 50% is nothing bad, and increase physical damage when dual wielding, which are a good note. And this one increases your main hand damage and increasing your offhand attack speed, and that's a very good note there, and definitely something I'm going to be interesting when I make my characters. And that's pretty much it. There are probably more. I have not taken a look at the other one, but the other part of the skill tree, as the Ranger, the Shadow, the Witch, are pretty much the same. They'll probably change the power on and of them, or maybe they did, but I don't not have the time to look at it right now. But as you can see, if you wanna do my crit lightning strike build, it's pretty much the same, I want to say. Actually, there are another note here which wasn't here before, but it is for claws, and yeah, it probably wasn't there. It probably was there before. I just don't know. But it's pretty much the same. So if you have a witch or a shadow or a ranger, you can pretty much make the same build as you did before. It can be nice. But this is everything for me. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm sorry I did not feel so good, so I hope you can forgive me for that. And thanks for watching, everyone, and tell me in the comment if you like my video. And see you guys next time.